Welcome back to Let's Play Splatoon. Last time we saved the Great Zapfish back in its rightful place on Inkopolis Tower. And this time we are going to work on amiibo. I kind of forgot to switch them out. Okay, so there were 3 amiibo released at launch: an Inkling Girl, an Inkling Boy, and an Inkling Squid, whom we've gotten an early look at already. Inkling Girl, by production number, is technically listed first, so we'll do her challenge first. So there are, okay, so 5 times 3 is 15 plus 5, 20 challenges, so that's a lot less than the main story. And again, they kind of pick and choose different levels of the main story. So her challenge, okay, so first of all, the rewards for the challenges go up very gradually. So I think they start at around like 900 coins and like, no, I think it's like 600, 700, 800, like 900, etc. Just up till the max number of whatever that may be. But the bosses actually have special rewards. The first 3 will give you a piece of equipment. The 4th one will give you a mini game, and the 5th one will give you the weapon that you're using in the challenge for multiplayer. So with that aside, let's actually go into some of the mechanics. And yes, I did this all off screen because frankly I wanted to show the rewards, but these are also the basic levels that we've already completed, so I didn't really feel the need to show them all over again. So the ink charger, or whatever it's called, hero charger I think, basically is a sniper rifle. You hold it down and then release, and it basically one-shots everything. It's not my cup of tea, mostly just because, again, I'm a terrible sniper in games. I'm absolutely terrible. I think some versions of the charger actually do have a scope as well, so it really is a sniper rifle, essentially. This level is just the first level. I figured it'd be a good level to show off because of this area, where you can actually do some cool sniping, potentially, like that. So you don't even have to go past the crates, and you can actually take them all out really easily. These challenges also all have several levels in common. All the World 1 levels are present in every challenge, as does all the bosses. Let's just put it this way, the DJ Octavio fight with any of the alternate weapons is a complete pain in the butt. No two ways about it. That is the hardest thing to do, because frankly the charger is not really cut out for the amount of speed you actually need to complete that boss easily. It's doable for sure, but it took me like a good, 25 minutes I think to actually do that off screen. So yeah, that is the hardest thing, and actually there's a harder variant of the final boss as well. But again, this gets into what I was saying last time, that having to refight DJ Octavio 4 times or 3 times is kind of a chore. But one nice thing I discovered is actually there's unique dialogue. For example, they'll say that DJ Octavio escaped and kidnapped Gramps. So yeah, the dialogue actually does change to fit the later, the fact that you've already captured DJ Octavio once. Just a little observation, kind of a nice touch that they threw in extra dialogue. It also means that if the recording had failed, I wouldn't have ever been able to redo that boss. So that's another problem with having unique dialogue as far as Let's Playing is concerned. Let's see, do that, shoot. Okay, toss that. Oh, come on. There we go. Boom. Done. Okay. We are making actually pretty good time here, to be honest. All things considered, making good time. Okay, shoot this and this. Voila. Okay, these guys are easily sniped. For some levels, the charger really makes things quick, and others it really complicates things. The Zapfish is also replaced by Plush on repeat playthroughs, by the way. Thought I'd make note of that. Wow, that only took a couple minutes. These levels are really short, the first ones, which is why I'm showing them. Also, you usually, at least when I did all of them, I ended up with 58,500 gold, which can be used in multiplayer. This level, I am actually going to switch amiibo to show the gimmicks of the next amiibo, which in terms of production order is the Inkling Boy. I'm going by the fact that on the base there's like an A in the production number of the girl, and let's see, a B for the production number of the Inkling Boy. I'm actually doing the challenges out of order because 1-3 is actually, I think, wait, 1-2 I mean, is actually really well suited for the next power up, basically. So basically, I say basically a lot. In other words, let's see, what am I trying to say? So in short, that's a new one. The ink roller is basically, I need to stop saying basically. The ink roller is essentially a cross between a short range, kind of like a shotgun in a traditional shooter, and also sort of a melee weapon, because you can see it sort of shoots out a wide, short range burst of ink that does massive damage if you're right next to an opponent, but otherwise it's not the most effective weapon. Yeah, so it basically one-shots everybody, but you can also damage enemies just by directly hitting them with the roller. A direct hit with the roller will actually push back one of DJ Octavia's projectiles in one hit. It takes 2 inks to actually do the same. It's actually the hardest because you have so little range. You have to let the hands get right up, or the missile get right up to you, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So out of all the amiibo challenges, I think the Inkling Boys is actually the hardest. But yeah, you can actually just hold the button and just roll around, basically, and that will also hurt enemies. Unfortunately, in multiplayer, because of ranged weapons, the rollers generally don't work very well. It's like, if I were to make a comparison with another game that I've been playing a lot lately, it would be Overwatch. With the Inkling roller, you're basically Reinhardt. Very short range, but really good within certain applications. Like, Reinhardt's a really good character if you ask me, but you also need to have really good allies. You have to have good teamwork to actually use Reinhardt, or any tank, really, effectively. Unfortunately, playing with randoms is not the easiest thing. But same thing with the roller. If you have good cover fire, I guess you could say, it's pretty fun using the roller. But if you're just on your own, and like there's an enemy, like, okay, if you have a balanced team of like a charger, a splatter shot, and a splat roller, it's pretty easy. Also, there's weird pop-in, like his shoes just materialized. Just wanted to point that out. So that's basically the gist of the Inkling Boys challenges. And again, the first 3 are a piece of equipment, the 4th one is an arcade machine, and the 5th one is basically the weapon you've been using, which is in this case the hero roller, I think is what it's called. But last of all, we are going to show the guy that we accidentally saw earlier, the Inkling Squid, whom... would it be whom or whom? Who has... Okay, yeah, it'd be who. Who has 2 variants, actually. First of all, you have the Kraken power-up and a time attack. This is actually really fun. The Kraken makes you invincible, and also a jump will actually basically one-shot everything. So these are time attacks, so my advice would just be stay in Kraken form and hurry. See, that didn't even phase me. You also generate ink continuously, so that actually allows you to not even have to worry about refills. Also, you can move at normal speed in squid form, not even having to worry about things like, well, normally you'd have to cover the wall with ink before you can actually go up the wall. With this, you can just go straight up walls. So yeah, it is well made for speedrunning, which is actually a lot of fun. So this is going to be the shortest level of the video, probably, because, well, it is a speedrun after all. So by definition, we should probably go fast. Checkpoint. And also coming up, wow, I just totally mowed through those boxes. There we go. These guys are actually difficult to defeat as a Kraken. Also, I should point out, and you're actually given a normal Actually, that's a special, like, splatter shot that has the Kraken special ability, and that's unlocked by beating DJ Octavio in this challenge mode. Ow. But DJ Octavio is actually pretty easy in this because you just have the normal splatter shot, and also the Kraken gives you a ton of mobility, making it really easy to dodge his attacks because you don't have to worry about covering stuff before actually fighting him. I mean, you don't have to worry about covering up ink from like missiles and stuff, so it actually goes really, really fast. And again, in that case, you don't even need the rockets, you can just climb straight up the wall, which saves a ton of time. So yeah, I would say that the Inkling Squids challenges are probably the most fun. He has another variant too. I'm not sure if I'll actually show all this because frankly, in practice, these took forever. So the second variant of the Inkling Squids challenges are an ink challenge, where you have a limited amount of ink to work with. In this case, we have 2.5 to work with. You may be thinking, why 2.5? The reason being that it counts the one on your back as its own tank. So even though it looks like there are only 2 on the side of the screen, we actually have 3 tanks in total. So yeah, you have to conserve ink, and they give you the levels that need the most ink, of course, like the Invisible Avenue level, which I actually ran out of ink on my first attempt, so I had to actually redo that level. And it's a little bit annoying because you do have to redo a lot because of just running out of ink. Other levels will give you a full 3 tanks. This one only gives you 2.5 because it's pretty short. This is easily the hardest of the challenges outside of like the final boss with the special weapons. Yeah, because the final boss is actually the hardest part of the game, if you ask me, in terms of the challenges. Because doing them with the challenges, or what am I saying? Doing them with special weapons is actually kind of a chore. Here, to conserve ink, you might just want to jump them. 2 is kind of your necessary safe spot, I guess. Voila. That was actually way closer than I would have preferred, but it worked. Okay, take that out, just for fun. We have plenty of ink, actually. I am basically close enough that I can gauge that we're fine. And I would actually probably recommend just hurrying here, not even worrying about taking out the enemies, just to conserve. Again, I'm not going to show all of these because, again, it's basically replaying the same levels. And for like these ones, the same strategies apply in every case. Just basically go fast, for example. And this is a little bit of a predicament. Made it. And died. Also, once you respawn, you don't actually regain your ink. So that's actually kind of why this is challenging, because you don't regain any ink after dying. So don't die. Best advice in the world, huh? Shoot, shoot, shoot. I lived somehow and died. So you see why this is difficult, right? Because you have to conserve ink, but at the same time, if you die, then you have to, like, then you just lose so much. And actually, now we get to see what happens if you actually die in a level, to be honest. It's the first technical death of the run. But yeah, these are the hardest. There's 1, let's see, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 of them, but they are the hardest ones to actually complete. And now let's actually see what you get for all that. Going into the pause menu, we have for completing the and the Inkling Girls challenges, you get the which ones was it? The school set, which is just standard. All of them have like 3 item slots. The max is 4, so they're pretty good low level equipment actually. Yeah, so that's the school set. For completing the boy Inklings challenges, you get the samurai set. You can also rotate with the control stick, forgot to mention that. And for completing the Inkling Squids challenges, you get the power armor, which also has some really bad clipping issues. Like, his arms are clipping through, his hands are clipping through his arms. So that's actually really jarring. For completing the main story, just to clarify, we also got the hero headset, and the hero clothes, or the hero jacket and hero runners, and also the Octoling set. And of course, they will look slightly different for boys and girls, of course. But that's just the basic equipment. Also, we unlocked various other weapons that we can actually... Basically, for completing the levels, we got blueprints. And if we take them to the shop, we can actually unlock special weapons, but we will actually be doing that next time. So, without further ado, I think that's it for now. Also, the arcade games you unlock can also be played during waiting rooms of they can also be played during the waiting rooms of like what am I saying? They can be played during the waiting rooms of the online, but unfortunately they're always on the gamepad, so I can't actually show them. So one is a little 2D race, one's like a volleyball thing where you have to like spike a bunch of, like a Zapfish, I think, into a bunch of enemies, something. One's a music game, and one's like a jump where you have to like hold down the button to charge up and then jump to land on a platform. So nothing too special, but again, I can't show those because they're only on the gamepad. But in any case, next time we will be getting into the shops and the multiplayer. Thank you for watching, and I hope you join me next time for more Splatoon.